Welcome back. Today we're making monster cookies. Whether you have a Halloween party to get to or you have extra M&Ms hanging around after the 31st, these cookies are sure to disappear quickly. Let's get baking. As ever, a full recipe is in the description. We'll start with our dry ingredients, and that will be 3 cups or 375 grams of all-purpose flour, just a little bit more. Good enough. Just a scant half cup or 60 grams of cornstarch. And the cornstarch is going to keep this cookie soft. All right, so we want our monster cookies to be nice and chewy. And the cornstarch is going to help us out with that. All right. We'll do a teaspoon of salt. I use kosher salt. If you use table salt, you'll want to do just a tiny bit less. And then 3 teaspoons, which works out to a tablespoon, of baking soda. So we're going to whisk those together just so that our leaveners are evenly distributed. You don't want some cookies to stay flat and other ones to puff way up. Normally about 30 seconds is enough to evenly mix in your dry ingredients. And we will set those aside. The next thing we're going to do is take our sugar. We have 2 kinds of sugar for these cookies. We have dark brown sugar, about 200 grams or 1 cup, and then just short of a cup of granulated sugar, so 1 7/8 cups or about 175 grams. And in just a little bit more. Looks about right. All right, and to that we're going to add 1.5 cups of melted butter. And by melting the butter, we'll again kind of increase the softness or chewiness of our cookies. So now that we've got the butter and the sugars together, we're going to go ahead and mix that. You can use, I'm using a stand mixer, you can use an electric mixer. Push comes to shove, you can work out those arm muscles and just use a wooden spoon, but we're going to get this really thoroughly mixed in. We'll mix this on medium-low until the butter and sugars are well incorporated and just tiny bit lighter. This isn't going to get fluffy like if you have just room temperature butter. Melted butter isn't going to fluff up like that, but we just want it to get thoroughly incorporated. So here we go. All right, so our sugars and butter are mixed thoroughly and just a little bit lighter than when they first got incorporated. Kind of a caramel color here. To this, we are going to add an egg. 1/4 cup of milk. I'm just using the mixing cup that my melted butter was in. Any kind of milk will do. I'm using whole milk here. And 2 teaspoons of vanilla. I'm just going to pour that right into my milk. And into the bowl. We'll put that back on our stand mixer. The milk and the vanilla go in. And we're going to mix that until thoroughly incorporated. Alright, we'll scrape them down the sides just a little bit. And now it's time to add our dry ingredients. We'll do that in about 3 additions, just so that we don't have a big, huge puff of flour in our kitchen and we don't wind up with pockets of unmixed flour in our cookie dough. Once our flour mixture is thoroughly incorporated, whoops, put that back in there, we're going to scrape down the beater in the bowl and we're going to add our mix-ins. So we have a cup of oatmeal. Put that in and we'll go ahead and mix that a little bit. Next we're going to add 12 ounces or about 1.5 cups of M&Ms. That's what makes these monster cookies. So I'm going to put this in, mix a little, put a few more in, mix a little bit more. We just want to get those evenly dispersed into our cookie dough. We're not trying to overmix the dough or anything like that. All right, so we're going to go ahead and scrape down a little bit more. We don't have to be perfect about this because we have one more mix-in to add, and that's cornflakes, which are the signature ingredient from the kitchen's famous chocolate chip cookie recipe. And for our cornflakes, we're not going to mix real hard at all. We can either turn the mixer back on or just use our spatula or a wooden spoon to fold those in. Good enough here. We've got about 1 cup of cornflakes and we're just going to turn the mixer on and sprinkle them in as they sort of gradually mix in. Light touch does it, and then our cookie dough will be ready. And we'll let the spatula do the rest. Right, take a turn or two with our spatula. here's how our cookie dough will look. Some chocolate chips, cornflakes, and little bits of oats evident in there. We're going to go ahead and let this chill down in the refrigerator for an hour or two, just until it's thoroughly chilled, and then we'll scoop it out and we will be ready to bake. So we've let our cookie dough chill for a couple hours in the refrigerator and scooped it out using a 2-tablespoon cookie scoop. Usually we'll make smaller cookies around here, but monster cookies have to be at least a little bit monstrous. We're going to put these into a 350-degree oven for about 12 minutes and let them bake until they are just set. We don't want them to be too brown. We want them to definitely look soft in the center because they're going to set up as they cool, and we want nice chewy monster cookies when we're done. Alright, so we checked our cookies at 12 minutes and they needed just a little more time, so we gave them about another 30 seconds. And here they are. We can see that they are, they're browned at the edges, but they're still decidedly soft in the middle, so that's okay. They're going to set up as they cook, or as they cool. And there's a kind of carryover cooking that happens. So these cookies should turn out just perfectly chewy and delicious. Our cookies have cooled, but they should still be nice and soft in the center. Let's give one a try. Perfect. A dip in milk and a little taste. Delicious. We hope you give these a try. And check back with us again every Friday for a new video at Chicana Kitchen.